the Fat and Skinny Cooking Show. Today, we're going to cook some great summer squash recipes. A good friend of mine, Steve Isabel, came by last week with a whole basket of squash. Now, when I was growing up, summer squash, or crookneck squash as it's also called, was served boiled to death and mushy, and I hated it. Matter of fact, I swore I'd never eat it again. But then I developed some wonderful summer squash recipes, and I guarantee these recipes aren't your mom's recipes. So you stick with me, because when we come back, we're going to cook some terrific summer squash recipes. Welcome back. So now we're going to delve into the wonderful recipes of crookneck squash, or yellow squash, summer squash as it's also called. It's summertime up here in the beautiful mountains of western North Carolina, and there's summer squash everywhere. Now the first dish I'm going to make for you today is I'm going to make for you a cream of squash mint soup. And it's wonderful, hot or cold. So let's take a look at our ingredients. I've got 2 cups of pureed summer squash. All I've done is I've boiled this in some salted water after I've taken out the seeds, and I'll explain that to you in a few moments, and then I put it in the food processor and I've pureed it. That's going to go into a pot that has about a tablespoon of melted butter. Just like that. Now to that we're going to add a 1.5 cups of heavy cream, heavy whipping cream. We're going to add a 1/2 cup of sour cream, just like this. We're going to add this wonderful mint. I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons of peppermint leaves inside. Now I'm using dried peppermint, but you can use fresh if you wish. I have fresh for the top. Now we're going to take a good grinding of nutmeg right inside of our soup. About 1/4 teaspoon. We're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. And we're going to use 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. Now I've already salted the squash because when I boiled the squash, I boiled it in salted water. So the squash itself already has a salty flavor. So we don't want to put any extra salt in until we've tasted it and we're happy with how it is. Okay, wonderful. Now the next dish we're going to do, so I'll leave that here to simmer. The next dish we're going to do is we're going to do a cheesy squash bake. Simple enough to do. Cut the end off and bring it down to the bulbous area of the squash like this. This piece can stay aside for a moment and cut the other end off like that. Now cut it right in half. And using a spoon, on the larger squashes, you just want to scoop out the seeds. Now, the smaller squashes are delicate, and you don't have to scoop out the seeds. But if you're using these larger squashes, especially the hard shell crookneck, which has a thicker skin, then you want to make sure you scoop out all the seeds. Okay, here we go. And once we have those all scooped out, we want to cut them into French fry pieces, just like this. Now over in the skillet I have on the stove, we've got 1 tablespoon of butter melted. I'm going to toss that right in there, just like that. We'll take this neck, and we'll cut it up, toss it in there, just like this. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to take this and just cover it up for a couple of minutes, let it do its thing. Go over here and check our soup. Oh, doesn't that look nice, huh? Beautiful. We just taste it for salt and pepper. Could use a little bit of salt. Could use a little bit of pepper. There we go. We'll give it a quick stir. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that soup is ready. And we'll ladle up couple of nice bowls of soup. Like I said, you can eat this either hot or cold. It's a wonderful, wonderful soup. A good prelude for any meal. There we go. Now we're going to put just a sprinkling of fresh mint right over the top, just like this. And there you have it. A cream of summer squash and mint soup. Wonderful, wonderful soup. Okay, let's see how we're doing over here. Now what we're going to do with this squash is that I'm just simply sit here and we're going to fry it over a low to medium heat so that it softens up. In the meantime, our next dish that we're going to cook is going to be a fried squash. So when you come back, we're going to fry up some summer squash in a beautiful coating. It's going to be crispy and it's going to be delicate all at the same time. Wonderful replacement for French fries. So stick with me. When we come back, we'll fry up some squash. Welcome back. Okay, let's finish off our cheesy summer squash bake. Real easy to do. Let's take a look at this pot right here. The squash is nice and fried. I want to take 2 cups of Halsberg cheese. I love Halsberg cheese because it's real buttery and it melts well. But you can use any kind of cheese that you want that melts well. What you don't want to do is use a cheese that becomes stretchy, you know, like a mozzarella cheese type cheese. Okay, on top of that, what I have here is I have a ½ cup of mixed pork rinds that have been ground down into a flour mixed with Parmesan cheese. We're just going to go right over the top, just like this, with our pork rind Parmesan cheese mix. I'm going to cover that right back up for a moment, and we'll get into our next dish. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to fry some squash. So let me move the pan up here so we'll be able to see it a little bit better. Now, when you fry foods on a low-carb diet, the problem with getting fat with fried food isn't the oil, it's the coating itself, because the coating is full of starch. So cornmeal, flour, that's what turns into blood sugar, and blood sugar turns into fat. So what we want to do is we want to use a coating that won't make you fat. Now what I use pork rinds. Now this is just a bag of regular pork rinds you buy at the store. Don't get sweetened ones. You can get hot and spicy or plain, even barbecue, but check on the label to make sure there's no carbohydrates. Put them inside of a food processor, and I want you to grind them into a powder, just like this. You see that? It's almost like a flour. It's a terrific coating for all kinds of fried foods. Now we have our crookneck squash all cut up into our French fry size pieces. And we're going to just take some here and put them in our egg bath, which is nothing more than beaten egg. Just like this. Here we go. And to those, we're going to dip them in our fry batter, our fry coating. Just like this. And we're going to coat them up nice. And these are going to go into our 375-degree cooking oil. Peanut oil is fine if you wish. You can use olive oil if you wish, although it's a little more expensive. Peanut oil works just fine. And we're going to just take these squash and fry them up right inside of that oil. Just like that. Let's get a few more going in there. This is one of my wife's favorite recipes. She loves fried crookneck squash. If you've never tried it, you're going to absolutely love it. It takes the place of French fries. In French fries, again, potatoes are full of starch. And it's the starch that's in the potato that turns into blood sugar. The blood sugar turns into fat inside the human body. At Fat to Skinny, we replace all your favorite foods with foods that won't make you fat. So be sure to check out our website, fattoskinny.com, and our support forum. It's free. fattoskinny.net. Okay, so here we go. We'll fry up some of the squash for you guys. Just like that. We're going to take a 10-second break, and when we come back, we're going to plate up this wonderful cheesy squash, and we'll see how our fried squash is doing. Hang in there. Be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a look and see how our cheesy squash bake is doing. Oh, look at that. Any kid in the world would love that. Then we'll just give it a little turn it, and we'll just set it right out on that plate, just like that. Doesn't that look delicious? It's cheesy, it's gooey, it is absolutely fabulous. Okay, finally, we want to take a look over here at our fried squash and see how our fried squash is doing. Look how crisp it's getting. You see that? Just like French fries. And they are delicious. So we're going to go ahead and serve those up. Just this easy. Right into a bowl. The kids will love these. Like I told you at the front of the video, this is not your mother's squash recipes. Look at that. Yum, yum, double yum. You know, we have several books out now. We have cookbooks, bakery books, weight loss books, and we have more books coming. So you make sure you stay with the Fat to Skinny cooking show and come visit us at our website, and we'll help you lose weight, eat great, lose weight on the Fat to Skinny program. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Fried crookneck summer squash. Absolutely delicious. Thanks for being with me today. Please come back and visit us again. Bon appetit! I hope you had a good time with me today on my cooking show. Please visit my website, fattoskinny.com, for my books. We have weight loss books, cookbooks, even a wonderful sugar-free bakery. And don't forget to visit our free support forum at fattoskinny.net. Y'all have a nice day now, you hear?